What's going on, guys? Today we are updating the wide receiver tier list. And even though we did just update this tier list less than a month ago, there's been so much content that came out over the last 3 weeks or so that, yeah, we're already due for another update to this tier list. So getting started with our first wide receiver today, we have the Ghost of Madden future, George Pickens. And I'm actually a huge fan of this card. 6'3", and he is a slot archetype, so he does get the ability short and elite for 1 AP. We all know that's one of the best abilities in the game right now. But this card is also super unique because he also can get slot apprentice if you want to go that route. But 0 AP honorary lineman, and this could give him a spot on even God squads, because if you look right here, he has 94 impact block, one of the best run blocking wide receivers in the game right now, and he gets 0 AP honorary lineman. So if you like running the ball, George Pickens, regardless of what your team looks like, does have a spot. And not to mention, he can still catch passes too with short in and 92 speed. It might be a little bit harder, but if you are in a scheme where short in lights up consistently, this guy's still gonna burn 95 speed corners because of how broken short in and, you know, route tech and those kind of abilities just are. It's always abilities over stats. It's been like that since Madden 20, and it is what it is. But if short in's cooking, so will this card. So George Pickens, I'm a fan of this card big time. I do think he's the best, 92 Ghost of Mutt card. I'm gonna throw him right in front of the Garrett Wilson card. But honestly, I would, if I didn't have a Jets team, I probably would have George Pickens because I love running the football, and honorary linemen and run blocking receivers really do excite me. So I'm a big fan of the George Pickens card. So next up, we have a card that I'm not gonna lie, I've been gassing up a pretty good amount. If you follow me on Twitter, or if you are sub to the second channel, by the way, go sub to the second channel. Adam Thielen is truly an amazing card. In the slot, there isn't much better than him for his price. And yes, CeeDee Lamb is better. Yeah, but this card is about 140. I mean, for good reason he is. And even if you don't want to buy him straight up, say you do, a Zero Chill Champion set, you are able to get Adam Thielen free, BND. And that's amazing. Adam Thielen, this card is amazing from the slot. 93 speed at 6'2", 200. And the reason why this card is so good is for the abilities. He's a slot archetype. Slot archetypes are always amazing for the slot, obviously, because they automatically get short and elite for 1 AP, and sometimes you need these playmaker or deep threat guys to get it discounted. Adam Thielen already gets it, and he also does get short out elite for 0 AP. So you've short out and short in for just 1 AP in the slot. I can't even tell you how consistent this stack is for just 1 AP. It is so good. Adam Thielen's amazing. If you don't believe it, go watch that second channel gameplay. This card is honestly ridiculous. I used them all stream yesterday. And he was doing his thing. So I'm going to throw Adam Thielen. So right here between Steve Smith and Adam Thielen, the thing is that Steve Smith does get short in for 0 AP, which is obviously super nice. Steve Smith, though, is 5'9" with 94 speed. So he has the speed, but does not have the height. Adam Thielen, 6'2". Here it kind of comes down to what your theories are on these abilities. For me, I like the height and consistency a little bit more on Adam Thielen, but it's tough to argue free abilities. Free abilities are so nice that I could hear an argument for Steve Smith. And I know people are probably thinking I'm talking crazy right now, but if you don't believe me, just try this Adam Thielen card. Put the short in, put the short out on him. Run him where you would be running Steve Smith, and just look at how consistent this card is. So I'm going to leave Adam Thielen high A tier. I'm a huge fan of this card. So next man up is Zero Chill Deebo Samuel. And realistically, outside of a Niners team, you probably won't see much of this card. He does get 0 AP short out. So I guess you could run that stack I was talking about for just 2 AP, which still could go crazy. For me, the discounted abilities, they do play a big factor into rating these cards this year more than ever. But yeah, this card's got good stats, 5'11". He definitely will play well for you if you have a Niners team, have him on a theme team. Good after the catch. If you can get a scheme where you're getting the ball into Deebo's hands pretty consistently. Also, playmaker, super nice on this card. So I do like this Deebo card a lot. I mean, he's not for me, and I acknowledge that. I'll say that right now. This Deebo card I know is not for me. But if you're someone that, has a scheme where short out likes to fire, or, you believe in matchup nightmare, or even, 2 AP playmaker. Playmaker's a good ability if you know how to use it. It's all there for you on Deebo Samuel. So I acknowledge the card is not for me, but I still think he's good. So we're going to throw Deebo. I'm going to put him. This one's tough. I'm going to put him in front of Justin Jefferson. I'm going to put him in front of Justin Jefferson. I love the Justin Jefferson card, but yeah, I think Deebo is the better option there. Hey, real quick, before we hop into our next player, I have to remind you to hit that subscribe button. We are less than 1,000 subscribers away from 40,000, so of course any support is appreciated. And regardless, I do appreciate you watching the video, and hopefully you do enjoy the rest of the tier list. So next man up is another Viking slot receiver, and that is KJ Osborne. And this card played really well for me, and I think I have decided. I'm still not sure how I'm gonna run these tests, but the next, Madden Mythbuster video or ability breakdown video is going to be between short in, slot-o-matic, short in, short out, route tech. I have to test out these abilities because I really don't know. I really don't know. Some games it felt like my slot-o-matic was going crazy with KJ Osborne. I also did a second channel gameplay on this card, but some games it felt like he was going crazy. With slot-o-matic, I guess you could go slot-o-matic short in. I feel like you're just kind of going too crazy with that, but he does get really good slot abilities, and he's a slot archetype, and he's 1 speed faster than Thielen. However, he is 3 inches shorter than Thielen. But yeah, stat-wise, he's definitely better than Thielen. And again, it just comes down to what you believe. I really feel like slot-o-matic is, I want to say, less consistent than Adam Thielen short in, short out. In my scheme, at least, I felt like it was less consistent. And again, I'm gonna have to say abilities over stats. I said it on literally the first card that we talked about today. So yeah, I think Thielen just has the slight edge over KJ. I used both these cards. I made videos on both these cards, and I do feel like I was a lot better and a lot more consistent to the keyword with Thielen. So I'm gonna put him slightly above KJ. And I know it really is just tough because 0 AP short in is so good, and I acknowledge that. It's just, I don't know, man. It's also because we have a better 0 AP short in guy now. That also kind of makes me lose a little bit of value in the Steve Smith card because there's a better 0 AP short in receiver now. So that also plays a bit of a factor because you're not going to choose the 5'9" guy. So that does play a part. Next man up is Mike Evans, and I really did enjoy this card. Again, he got a second channel gameplay too. This card played really well for me, 93 speed, 92 acceleration. After the catch is really where this card shined, I remember. But yeah, great route running, 6'5", which is obviously pretty elite height-wise. Deep out, red zone threat, route technician. So those are some good abilities right there. I believe I probably ran deep out on the card only for that gameplay if I remember. It was probably just deep out, but yeah, pretty solid abilities for a 6'5" receiver. He's going to be a guy that you just, call how you can throw the ag to or use him in the red zone. But really for his price, it's tough to argue really still running his card. I feel like his price is a little bit steep, but I do like the Mike Evans card. I think he is definitely high A tier in about that Art Monk range, but he is taller than Art Monk. I actually really did enjoy the Mike Evans card. So now we have the Ghost of Madden present DeAndre Hopkins, and I love this card. Usually DeAndre Hopkins cards always get cheated in the speed category, and I can definitely say this is probably the best DeAndre Hopkins card that I can remember ever getting in a MUT. This card's amazing. 94 speed, 92 acceleration, great route running, good after the catch, 6'1", 212. The one problem with this card is his natural archetype, which is physical archetype receivers. They're just not great, but he does get really good player-specific abilities with 0 AP deep out, which is amazing on a Hopkins card, and then also wide receiver apprentice. If DeAndre, this is kind of out of his control. This is the best you could really make a DeAndre card, in my opinion, with how the stats are right now and kind of where we are in MUT. This is probably the best you could have made this card. But if he was like 6'3", a little bit taller, he definitely, I think would be, he still has an argument for low S tier. I'm just going to put him at A tier. And I was originally going to put him at S tier, but I was like, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can. So we do move DeAndre Hopkins down, and then Waddle moves down a slot. But yeah, that's where I'm going to put DeAndre Hopkins. Love his abilities, love his build, love the speed. The card's amazing. So next up, we have the Zero Chill limited time Mike Williams with the 94 speed, 92 acceleration, 6'4", 220 with amazing stats, amazing after the catch. This card is genuinely amazing. One of the best wide receivers I've used this year in general. He was amazing, and also does get really good abilities. 1 AP wide receiver apprentice. So say you're someone that is using Randall Cunningham, for example, or maybe, Brady's a little different because he gets hot route for pretty cheap, and same with Bledsoe. But wide receiver apprentice is just added hot routes at every single wide receiver position. So no matter where you want to play him, you can do it. The one issue I would say is that I do wish that they put wide receiver apprentice in this slot and they put like short in or deep out in this slot. So you had the flexibility to run him in the slot and on the outside. But this card's probably just gonna be better on the outside. Run him on the outside, run those jump balls to him. He's 6'4" with still good speed right now. So I would just go deep out, and he's one of the best ag catchers in the game right now because of the size and the weight and his animations. Card does play amazing. So without question, I still do take Calvin. I really like the Calvin card still to this day, even though he came out so long ago. The reason why, if you think Calvin's too high, the reason why he is still up there is 6'5", 94 speed, and it's the abilities for me. It makes him one of the best ag catchers in the game because you are able to get deep in and deep out for 1 AP. So really any jump ball down the field, and abilities lighting up, and if it's one-on-one coverage, Calvin will most likely come down with it because no matter where the ball is, an ability's lighting up. So that's why I love Calvin so much. The super discounted, deep in, deep out, and also his size and his speed is still very good. So next up, we have LTD legend Marvin Harrison, whose price is kind of up there right now. I mean, 700K for this card. I think I saw him going for about 5 for a good amount of time, I think. But yeah, Marvin Harrison, 95 speed when he first came out. He was the lone 95 speed receiver in the game. Really good stats, 6 foot 175, good after the catch, and this card also does get really good abilities, really good player-specific abilities with 1 AP short in and a deep out elite. This is the setup I was kind of hoping on what's his name, for example, Mike Williams. I was looking for this setup so you can kind of run him in the slot and on the outside in the same game, which would have been really nice. Is he the best ag catch guy in the game? No, you have 6'5", 6'4", 6'3" guys that can go up there and make plays like that. But Marvin Harrison, really good speed. This card did actually have a pretty crazy ag in the gameplay that I did on this card. If you missed that video, definitely go back and watch it. It was definitely a fun one. But Marvin Harrison, without question, is S tier. Crazy speed. However, I am going to put him behind Mike Williams and Calvin Johnson. If he was still the lone 95 speed receiver in the game right now, he probably would be in front of these guys because speed is king. But we have, in my opinion, 2 better 95 speed options at wide receiver right now. And one of those guys is, of course, the brand new Zero Chill CeeDee Lamb. This card is amazing. He really is. 95 speed, 94 acceleration, 93 agility, great route running animations. After the catch, the card's super crispy with a good juke, good COD, all that stuff. At this point of the year, this is pretty standard for a wide receiver, and where these cards are going to be set apart is not only their natural stuff like their height, which CD is very good at, being 6'2", but it's going to be the abilities. And CD, I kind of touched on it earlier with Steve Smith. He's another short and elite 0 AP wide receiver who is 6'2" at 95 speed. So yeah, I think he is probably the best slot receiver in the game right now because you were able to get it for free. And his price tanked for whatever reason. I don't know why this happened, but he was going for like 700K all day yesterday, and now he's down to like 520. So it's a pretty good bang for your buck purchase, if I'm being honest. 700K was kind of a lot for me. I may have been seen tweeting, Thielen over CeeDee Lamb for 700K CD and 150K Thielen, but no, CD is just amazing. I mean, this card is in the slot, 0 AP short in for completely free, which gives you so much more flexibility on offense. Even, no matter where you want to play this card, no matter where you even want to play this card, I mean, he's going to be good. Even if you want to play him on the outside for whatever reason, not that the ability is really tailored to that, but say you wanted to. I mean, he's 6'2", the guy can definitely still ag if you give him the deep out ability, but he really doesn't get that discounted. So, yeah, super nice card though. CD, without question, is S tier, top of S tier. And finally, last but not least, we have the 95 overall Ghost of Madden Past Herman Moore, who stat-wise and build-wise, if you don't factor in abilities, I do think is the best wide receiver in the game right now for obvious reasons. I mean, the dude's 6'4", 210, crazy stats, crazy after the catch. But when it comes down to the abilities, he's still really good. Short in and you get deep out for 2 AP, super nice, and playmaker the same way Deebo gets it. So if you like playmaker, there you go. But Herman Moore, yeah, he's pretty ridiculous. In my opinion I think he is number 1 right now. My opinion on CD and Herman is that they are just simply two different wide receivers. If you want an ag catch, outside the numbers kind of guy, Herman's your guy. If you're looking for a slot receiver, CD's definitely your guy. So like my ideal receiving core right now would be Herman on one side, Calvin on the other, and then CD in the slot. That would be, in my opinion, if you don't have any theme team, ties or Legends theme team. Even if you have a Legends theme team, that's still pretty nice. I would probably go with that setup right there. That's probably my ideal receiving core right now in Madden 23. So yeah, that is going to do it. Drop a comment down below if I missed anyone. Who's too high, who's too low, let me know down below. And as always, I will see you boys in the next one.